Melisandre's actress Carice let it slip a very important character she doesn't have any scenes with, which has me super bummed. Oh, and she also let it slip who definitely isn't king by the end of this series, so it's just a sad day all around, isn't it?
Warning, spoilers for the final season of Game of Thrones in this video. Don't watch if you don't want to know that Ghost shoves Lightbringer through Jon's heart this season. And it is heartbreaking. Okay, I want to share an interview Melisandre's actress Carice did where she shared some interesting things about her character and where she let something slip that makes me believe we know how Melisandre dies this final season. But first, I want to talk about how she gave us further proof of what George said. Melisandre thinks she's doing good and isn't an evil character. I mean, come on, who hasn't burned a child or two alive? Put your fucking hand down. In the interview, she reinforced that Melisandre, despite her tendency to burn people painfully alive, is trying to do what is best to save the world. I feel it's obvious to see that Melisandre isn't really evil, but simply is the type of person that believes the ends justify the means. She is trying to save the world. Isn't that worth burning a person or two? The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So she reinforced this in an interview when she said, "It's a shame that we've seen so little of her sense of humor in the series, but I suppose there's not that much to smile about in her life. In the end, she wants to save the world, and that's something I really admire, though her way of getting there isn't very nice. She also has a sense of absolute confidence that I wish I had more often, though I'm not sure we have much else in common, really."
First, I'm happy you and Mel don't have a lot in common. That's a good thing. Two, I feel like not having Melisandre's confidence isn't necessarily a bad thing. Melisandre's confidence has led to a lot of bad shit happening. So, don't be too jealous of her.
Also, I thought Melisandre smiled more than Jon in the show. I guess it was usually in a mocking, knowing smile sort of way, though. It is funny that she wanted to see Melisandre's sense of humor more. What did she want to see? Melisandre making jokes while burning people? A priest and a rabbi run out of a burning church, and the priest says, "What about the children?" The rabbi says, "Fuck the children." And the priest says, "Do you think we'll have time?" Someone told me that you can let out all your anger by writing letters about everyone you hate and then burning them. But I was just wondering, should I keep the letters? What is the best thing about burning to death? No funeral costs! Why couldn't baby Jesus be born in Texas? Because they couldn't find 3 wise men or a virgin. Weird enough, she also answered how she, Carice, would do against the Night King, and she isn't too confident, revealing, "I would not be fine, that's for sure. I would be shivering in the corner. I don't have superpowers, I'm afraid, and I'm no hero. I would be terrified as hell." But Melisandre would definitely have some things up her sleeve. She'd try to go back into her religion and strong belief system and hope for the best.
Melisandre went to Essos to get more priests and priestesses of R'hllor to fight in the north. Fucking confirmed. I mean, we already knew that was pretty much confirmed. Next, she answered what character she would want to play if she wasn't playing Melisandre, and her answer always shocks me. Sam. She'd want to play Sam. I guess she'd be a very sexy version of Sam. So sexy.
She said, "I always come back to one of my favorite characters, Samwell Tarly. He has comedy notes, he has a strong inner sense, he's good-hearted. It's fun to play the baddie, but also exciting to play a more flesh and blood character."
Wow, okay, I guess she really wanted to do more comedy in this series. But speaking of Sam, she also let it slip that Sam won't be the king by the end of this series. I'm sure there was a huge fan base that was pro Sam sitting the Iron Throne. I'm sorry.
When asked how she felt about the end of the show, she said, "It is what it is, and so that's what it should be. There's nothing to say about whether I'd change it if I were in charge. In an ideal world, we would want Samwell Tarly to be the king and rule the world, but unfortunately, that's not reality."
Again, I'm sorry, Sam fans.
She further confirmed Sam doesn't sit the Iron Throne when she was asked who she'd want to sit the Iron Throne, and she said, "Samwell Tarly, but zero chance there."
Hey, things could be worse. I don't know how, but they could be.
Though what worries me is she was asked who she'd want to survive the show, and she said Sam, Brienne, and Arya. Since she added Sam, I don't think she's saying who did die this final season and she wanted to live, more so just 3 characters that she was rooting for the entire time, because I just can't see Sam dying. I think they'll make him the author of the Song of Ice and Fire. They set that up too nicely. Here's another interesting bit of her interview when asked who her favorite actor to work with was. She said she loved working with Liam, Davos' actor, the most because, quote, "He's a goofball and I have to tell him to shut up sometimes, but he's made being on set easier. The circumstances aren't always glamorous, so his sense of humor was a godsend."
She could have meant in previous seasons where Liam was there to cheer her up when she was filming in gloomy or cold locations or doing messed up shit in a scene, but honestly, I feel like Davos is going to do something to her this season when he sees her return to Westeros and the North. So Liam was probably cheering her up between scenes going, there, it's okay that I choke the fuck out of you on film. Melisandre had it coming. At the very least, I hope Davos happily watches Melisandre being lit on fire when they use some sort of fire blood magic to try to hold back the others.
I personally think Melisandre's death will be painful and probably wasn't fun for her actress to film, and Liam helped her through that gloom because in talking about ending her character, she shared, "It was really hard. I cried a lot. I didn't think I was going to. You know it's going to come to an end and you prepare for that. But it's still always a shock. The crew gave a big speech when we finished filming. I was surprised at how emotional I got. It's not just a role, but 7 years of your life that are coming to an end."
Maybe because her character meets a terrible end, or maybe just because she's emotional about moving on. We'll see.
Hilariously, she wished she could have worn something besides all the red when playing Melisandre. I guess she asked if she could wear something besides red and didn't get the yes she wanted. Oh, and she confirmed that Melisandre has something up her sleeve, but we knew that when she said she was going back to Essos for something. And also, she didn't keep the ruby necklace because, quote, "No, but I wouldn't really want to. It's not very comfortable. What it does is great, but I'd rather have a few more wrinkles and not an itchy neck."
Alright, now to the character that Melisandre doesn't have a scene with in this final season, or, well, ever.
So she confirmed that Melisandre will never meet Cersei in the show, which probably means Melisandre dies at the Great Battle at Winterfell. When she was asked about Cersei and Melisandre being powerful women, and if she wishes her character had scenes with Cersei, she said, "I would have absolutely loved to. It's a real shame there aren't any scenes between them, but the storylines just didn't come together. It was a missed opportunity, I think. It would have been really interesting to see that they got on as women as opposed to just fighting, because they're not that different. They're both loners."
I mean, she's not wrong about those two not being so different. They both burn people alive for their own agenda.
From the darkness.
Fire!
They have some child death on their hands. And they've had sex with people that perhaps they shouldn't have had sex with. Man, they would have been regular fucking besties. Actually, Melisandre and Cersei together would be a terrifying team. At least Stannis sorta kept her in check with his sense of justice. Cersei would just be an absolute monster. She don't give a fuck.
I choose violence.
Are you as disappointed that Cersei and Melisandre never meet? Now I feel like they would have been an amazing team-up. Though, maybe Cersei would be jealous of Mel's beauty, as in threatened in a way, I'm not sure. I think she'd be so interested in using Mel's power that she would be able to put that aside. So my last thought on Melisandre never meeting Cersei, again, I think that means she never goes south, and that means she dies during the Battle of Winterfell. We already know Melisandre has to die in Westeros.
I will return, dear Spider. One last time.
My lady.
I have to die in this strange country. Just like you.
I guess she could stay in the north and or just never actually have a scene with Cersei, but I don't know. I think she's dying in the north. At the very least. Light her on fire! Damn it. She deserves it. Alright, so like, subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below which two characters do you feel absolutely have to have a scene or two together in the final season that It's not guaranteed that they will at this point in time.